So it's now event season. If you're an event, exhibition, open day or summer fair, give the team at Fast Signs a call. They can help your event stand or stall, stand out and make a statement. From banners and flags to tablecloths and backdrops, the team at Fast Signs would love to have a chat with you and see how they can help. Just check out fastsigns.com/Leeds, and if you mention the Lot Pod, I'm fairly certain the guys, Andy and the team, will give you a really good deal. Hi everybody, welcome to the Lot Pod, the Leeds Rhinos Lot 17-8 podcast, kindly sponsored by Fast Signs. Match review, panel time, producer Chris, Eddie and Duncan here. But before I introduce the guys, we are going to push our live event. We're joining forces with Bry at 6 again, and we're heading down to the Brotherhood Bar in Leeds City Centre for a Super League mid-season review special with two special guests, two of the biggest names to ever have played the game. Terry O'Connor and Yestin Harris are both joining us to review the Super League season so far. They're going to share their views on the 2025 Super League season and answer some questions from the audience in attendance. It's on Tuesday the 1st of July at 7 o'clock. You can get burger and chips for £7 before 7 p.m, which is just crazy prices. Absolute crazy prices. Tickets are on sale now. If you go to eventbrite.com and search The Lot Pod, or you can follow us on Instagram at lot_pod. Tickets are £5 per person. It's so cheap. I don't know why we've made them so cheap. But come on down, have a drink with us and talk some rugby league with Yestin Harris and Terry O'Connor. It's not just open to Leeds fans, even Wigan fans, just no Saints fans. That's what we've all agreed on after this result. Come on down, Tuesday the 1st of July at 7 o'clock at Brotherhood Bar in Leeds. And again, a huge thank you to Terry and Yestin for joining us. They have both been unbelievable in their support around the podcast and the event, so we can't wait for that. So, match review panel time. Duncan, how are you?
Very well.
Shall we just talk about the test match? We were just doing that before we came on air, talking cricket. That's way better than Leeds Rhinos at the moment. Chris, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It's a bit muggy in here, isn't it?
It's muggy in here.
I've just noticed we've all got his legs out.
We've all got his legs out. I don't know if you can see these underneath. I know, Laurie, you're perving at them. Do we have to talk about this?
Yeah.
8-minute pod. All not in agreement. Just 8 minutes to get through this one. Review the game. We're going to review the game, unfortunately. We're going to hand out our Lackey Miller Fast Science Player of the Match, and then we're going to also look ahead to the Lee Leopards game. St Helens 18, Leeds 4. Any positives for the Rhinos from this one, Duncan? I'm going to look at you first, Mr. Duncan.
For 23 minutes I watched the actual game. I had to watch it back. I was a bit...
you enjoyed yourself, that's all you did.
I enjoyed myself.
The weather was amazing.
You were having a good time, I bumped into him.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
Did you enjoy yourself even more when you realised how the Rhinos were playing? A few more trips to the bar?
I wasn't even watching. I was more taking the mick out of the steward that was stood next to me, so I apologise to the steward that was stood next to me.
They are watching.
He was... he was probably wishing that he was somewhere else in ground. But no, there was a few of us around that were...
merry.
Yeah, we were a little bit merry. But no, positive-wise, I felt, after watching it back, I thought Lasoni went well again. I thought Watkins...
Again.
Was one of the better players. I thought Cam was one of the better players. There wasn't a right lot after that.
See you later, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think there was... I thought Lum took his try well.
Anything different from producer Chris?
The positive is that I don't have to go back there this year.
Unless it's playoffs.
They aren't getting...
They aren't finishing above us.
They're not getting...
So we're not going back this year,
They're not getting a playoff spot where they're playing at home.
No.
So I don't have to go back there because I'm sick of it.
Yep.
I think if you look at it in the round, maybe it's good that that's happened now, and it should give them a kick up arse.
Yeah.
Because the stank, the whole fucking... I mean, it stinks anywhere there, but
it does. You're right.
It stank the whole place.
It does stink there.
So yeah, that's it.
I think we'll start the review by going to the aftermath and go to Brad Arthur's comments, because I think he kind of sums it up, as he always does, summed up really well. So here's what Brad Arthur said after the game. Brad said, "There's too many errors and things that we got wrong. When you talk about all the simple things that we did get wrong, it comes back to one thing: attitude. Saints had a better attitude towards getting the simple things right and to build a game. We probably wanted to get a quick win. Unfortunately, you don't get those 80 minutes back and you have to live with it. The only thing that matters now is how we respond to it. It wasn't a spray at half-time because I don't know if that was going to make much difference. We just talked about how it was probably our worst 40 minutes. It was embarrassing. And we had 40 minutes to just chase a performance, not the scoreboard. And unfortunately, we continued to chase the scoreboard. We got ourselves back into it 8-4, but it didn't really feel likely that we could win. It felt like we were just it felt like Saints were just working harder than us. We're disappointed, but we need to move on." I feel that's
Quite refreshing, isn't it?
really refreshing.
Podcast over.
Yeah, finished.
He's just said everything.
But yeah, it is quite refreshing, isn't it? Rather than, because a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
Well, you can't paint
A
over.
lot of coaches bullshit the way through.
Well, that's the thing, and you can't paint over what people have just seen, right? You can't. It's just,
and he's just nailed it, hasn't
he's absolutely nailed it.
he? If the players are wanting to put that right on Friday, that's going back. That's probably a positive, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's set it up. They've lost the third place, which we could have cemented that. Kept on winning.
For me, we played crap, but to me, the worst thing is Saints are now 2 points behind us now.
And Saints weren't good. It's one of the worst Saints. I mean, they did the right thing.
I don't think
they didn't attack well.
Yeah.
Johnny Lomax is past it now, isn't he? And they didn't.
65.
They had Mbai, and so they played to
49.
the strengths, didn't they? They just worked hard.
They just had a better attitude with the main thing. I
Yeah.
felt we were arrogant. I felt we thought of, before the game, people, and on the coach that I was on the way down, people were saying, "Oh, we'll win by 4 scores," and I think that attitude sort of had
Players adopted that.
filtered down, and everyone's like looking at the stand and going, "Who Saints have got in the stand?" and not. Saints have always had a good academy. They've always had a good academy, ever since, like, for as long as Super League's been going. Saints have had a good academy and always brought through decent players. And I think it was bordering on disrespectful, to be fair to them,
Really?
with how poor we. There's got to have been some sort of a mentality thing around, well, attitude and the arrogance shown in terms of, like, it was almost like, "Oh, it don't matter if we cough the ball up, we're gonna score, or we're gonna win this game. It don't matter how we play." I even felt like we were soft in the tackle. I don't remember we weren't really. Other than Lusoni, like Lusoni did a big carry from the dropout, but in terms of, like, normally with us in the first, like, 10 or 15 minutes, teams know they're in a game with us because our pack.
Yeah, we weren't aggressive at all.
No, I felt there was a lack of aggression. We were quite soft, and we just looked like. It looked like a Rowan Smith. It looked like the back end of a Rowan Smith's reign. How we performed. We said before the pod, I think that's the worst performance. Like, it's worse than Wigan away last year, because that was there was no excuses around our selection or anything. Everyone's available. We've got 4 first teamers playing reserve team.
Reserve grade.
Like, Saints are without 7-8 of theirs. You know, we should be putting in a much better performance than that.
It was a commanding win for St Helens. But the most annoying thing is it ends our 5-game unbeaten run. I think there's only one thing to blame, really. The black kit.
Why were they wearing a black kit in 30 degrees?
Why are they wearing a black kit in 30 degrees?
Don't they? Why is everyone looking at me for answer?
I don't know. They didn't answer, I don't think.
Don't they have to submit before
Possibly, yeah.
before season starts, I think, and they give so many
Kits are run out.
kits to run out, yeah, so...
I felt the momentum shifting moment was the Robertson try-saving tackle on Ryan Hall when he ran pretty much the full length off the interception. You were kind of saying in the pod before the pod, which is definitely the best pod. We can all agree that. We should just record that, honestly. From the moment we're walking like a fly on the wall type podcast. That you felt Hawley should have cut inside, or
I think we me and Dunk both agreed that he took the wrong option trying to go for it because he wasn't going to get there. So whether he should have slowed down and tried to take a tackle, or probably what Duncan said's right, is cut back inside.
If he transfers the ball and hands Robertson off,
which he could have just dragged him along with him.
Which he could have done. I mean, look, Hall gets that right 9 times out of 10, and he, in my opinion, didn't get it right Friday night. But
and as usual, he's getting a roasting on what I've seen on social media, saying he's too
It's
old
just
and
ridiculous.
it's all that, and it's like
Absolutely ridiculous. Captain's challenge. Would you think that? Did you feel that were the right?
no, but he should have gone to. I'm surprised
The
he didn't
right
go to the
call.
screen anyway.
yeah, he said
Or the ref? Yeah.
Arthur said something about that in his press conference. He said he went to the screen when Lockie tipped
Yeah,
along the
which-
dead ball line and stopped us on play one, but then didn't
For
for
Ryan.
a try scoring opportunity.
And I live at game, I thought it were a flop. I thought the
flopped
last
on him.
Saints player joined too late.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't our night, were it? So
Saints were outstanding. Their completion rate, only one incomplete set all game.
I think that speaks more about our defence than their attack as well, because the more pressure you put on a team, the more likely they are to make mistakes. If they're making one error, completing at high 90s, then that's more
Especially
on us.
in that
That's
heat as well,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it's more on us.
Yeah,
than
exactly in the heat as well.
more on us than it is on them for me.
No, I agree. Absolutely agree. Callum Watkins.
yeah,
What did you make of Callum?
one of only a few that come out with any credit, really. He got, his,
117 metres.
he got his nose route line a few times, a few offloads. He did. I can't really remember him making any errors,
He never does.
No,
which everyone else did.
yeah, he's just Callum, isn't he? I think it looks like Gannon will be out,
Yeah, he's knocking his
which
shin,
weirdly
hasn't
could help us. Now Gannon's been really good, but I mean in the way of
Squad selection.
yeah, I think we could be looking at a better balance to the side going into
he? Yeah, I'd like to see Jenkins come back in.
if Watkins goes to the second row and we have Cam at 13.
Yeah,
Because I was saying before the pod, I think Cam's a calming influence. I think he calms the team down a lot. I think when he's on the bench, he's not really. I don't think he's like that. He's not someone that you look at and go, right, he's an impact player. A bit like Bentley to me, he's an 80-minute player, or you don't put him in a situation where they're coming off the bench because they're not going to provide the impact of the likes of a Lasoni and Holroyd. But yeah, Watkins was just Watkins, isn't he?
Just
Yeah.
doing Callum things.
yeah. But I think you're right. I think if Callum's got a few weeks off, it could actually we could be a bit more balanced for the next few weeks. I don't know.
Cam Smith. What did you make of Cam's performance?
Again, it's what he does. That was one of the positives. Now that you've mentioned Cam, 150th, wasn't it, for
Yeah,
Cam?
for Cam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
So well done for that. But no, I think you get what you get with Cam, but I think people sort of don't see the influence that he has on the side.
It's massive.
Because Ash, to me, looked really pissed off
You're livid.
on Friday night.
Yeah, we're doing some weird, like
And
uncharacteristic
I think-
stuff.
Like, even when he was, after watching it back, even when he was like approaching Jack Smith, he was sort of looking in a way of, I think that's maybe where if we sort of get Cam on the field as well, I think it could just sort of calm down a little bit. And
It's interesting because when we spoke to Ash and we asked him, I can't remember what question was, but it was something like which side.
It's a really good question by me.
It was a really good. I can't remember. It was
But
that good. I can't remember it.
So good we can't even remember
But
it.
basically, it was like which side frustrates you most playing against.
I probably said like, what side do you hate more than any
something
other?
like that.
You know?
Anyway, and he just says
And he's gone,
Saints. We
yes,
can't seem to. I don't know whether it's a mental thing, but
I
Ash
think-
looked really frustrated.
I think
didn't he?
that's the thing though, like, people forget the likes of Newman, Ash, Cam. They really care. Now, when you care so much about something, it can overspill and come out in a
Yeah.
negative. It can be a negative that you care so much.
course it can.
Well, Harry Newman has only won one game against Saints in his whole career, and that was Magic Weekend.
Yeah.
So it must
drive him.
We've got such a bad record against them, and especially over there. Sometimes there is a bit of a mental thing, isn't there?
Even Jake Connor was off it.
He made a mistake, didn't he? And then he didn't seem to recover from it.
But I felt we were going a lot to Croft as well.
They did go to Croft a lot more.
And I think he was, well, I don't think he was average. I think that's where, when Croft's not been at his best, that's where Connor's stepped up. And I think Friday night, with Connor not being on, that's where you need to see Croft going, right, I've got to take the bull by the horns here. And you could tell that we were misfiring when Jake's having a bad game. It's
quite vital to our side, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was a case of there were 13 out of the 17 all having an off day.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you aren't going to beat anyone, are you?
No.
Never mind
Maybe
a
Salford,
defeated
but
Saints.
even then,
You probably get dragged into
You beat Cass and Salford, but other than that, you won't.
Yeah, you're not going to beat even a depleted Saints side. Riley Lum continues to score again. Looking ahead to 2026, do you feel Riley's dumb enough?
it's not very nice.
Do you think Riley's done enough to get a starting wing spot, or do you still feel
he'll
Hall and
Sevo?
But I think he'll be Hall again for next year.
I think it will
100%.
be, but I don't think he'll. I think he'll still get chances, Will Riley.
I've mentioned before on the pod, I think he's a year ahead of where the club see him.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd. Well, I don't. It's no secret he wouldn't. He wouldn't have started as many games as Sevo were playing. So he feels like physically he just needs to fill out a little bit, and he's way ahead in terms of like game time that he's had.
Yeah.
He don't let us down. Yes, he makes mistakes, but as we've said, like
Kids do, don't they?
you can
Players
see,
do,
you
yeah.
can
All
see,
players do,
you can
yeah.
see the potential, and his ceiling's high as a winger. So you can sort of take them mistakes. But no, I think I think it's Sevo. He'd have to do. Lum would have to be seriously good for the rest of the year to knock Sevo out of her.
To get him out.
Yeah.
I agree. At 8-4, did you feel we had a chance?
No.
No.
When we came out for in the second half for about 5 or 10 minutes, I thought we've turned it round here, and then somebody made a mistake and it just all went to shit again.
From that point onwards.
Yeah. So I never. It was a weird one because usually it wasn't a big scoring game, was it? So
No.
I mean, they scored right at death, didn't they?
Yeah.
So it should have really. What were it? 14, and they kicked 2 goals.
Yeah, they kicked
Which
two
even
two
Saints
penalties.
fans were booing him for that, but
Yeah.
I mean, it worked, didn't it? So it wasn't as though it were a high-scoring game, but weirdly, I never felt like we were going to pull it back.
No.
I always felt that if we'd make a break, we'd mess it up.
Yeah.
And we did. So it wasn't. I didn't even think we were on it enough to claw it back.
This game is an abnormality in our season.
I think you just
It's a game we've just got to...
got to over-review it.
I
hopefully.
agree, but like most teams will have a game like that.
Of course they will.
Yeah.
Hull KR haven't yet. They will do.
They will do.
They'll have a game where they have a stinker.
I think we've just got to
Wigan have had a few, haven't they?
massively bounce back against Lee.
Put it to bed. Don't dwell on it.
Win against them.
I mean, Lee have had some stinkers as well, haven't they? They're not. It's. I don't think we can overthink it as in, oh shit, we've turned the corner the wrong way. I think it was just a bad day off.
I think it
Bad
just
day at
sort
the
of it
office.
brings you back. I think it'll bring a few back down to reality about where we are in terms of as a side, in terms of like where we're heading.
This is dying. It's having a heart attack. That's what this
Well, we're
pod's...
going to try and make it interesting.
So
Anything else
about
happen?
It's going
Yeah,
to
no, I
set on fire or something. I don't know.
That'd be funny. Just this lamp above my head.
I think we're. Yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it'll set us back too far. I still think we'll finish top 4.
Definitely.
I still think we'll finish above Leeds. I still think we'll finish above St Helens. But in saying that, it's now back round to Brad to get us back to where we have been.
It is quite tight for top 6. So if we lose a few,
Wigan have just gone to Wakey and lost. So teams other than KR, teams are
dropping points.
Teams are dropping
and
points.
Warrington got beat.
Warrington are gone out.
Well, yeah, their season was over. And
horrendous,
they lost the cup, wasn't it?
As soon as they signed Mark Sneed, that end of their year.
I know Burgess had an okay season last year, didn't he, as coach? But
yeah,
I bet he's good he didn't take that Perth job.
Yeah.
Well, if they offered him it.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of. Let's talk about Warrington. It's better.
Everyone agrees, don't worry. Everyone enjoyed your coughing fit.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I hope we have to call an ambulance or something. Something interesting.
You look at when Darryl Powell were there, and they were horrendous, weren't they?
That was funny.
Wasn't him though, were it?
That was funny.
No, but
It's not him. It was the club.
The club,
and
yeah.
it's still.
They just run the run poorly. Fitzpatrick's just.
Oh my God! Some of the stuff he puts out. LinkedIn's worst place anyway. Yeah. But, and like, have you seen my mate Degsy on TV? Pissed up, like he's on set of Benidorm or somewhere, south of France.
It's now
that's one of the people that's running our game.
It's just working men's club committee members. That's all it is.
Jesus.
It's now time for the stats pack, the attack of the stats.
Shit.
Thanks as always to the Stig for these stats. He's an absolute gem. I asked him what he thought of the game, and he answered by highlighting certain stats from the game, like key ones, which is absolutely the tail of the game. But here's the pick of the stats. Most tackles. Any guesses?
Jared
51, James McDonald 31, and Bentley 28. Most runs, we had Lackey Miller with 23, Ryan with 19, and Hawley with 18. And then the top 3 metres with the ball were Ryan Hall 191, but again, like you said, probably just
90 of them were
that one interception, but it's look again. Lackey 172 and Callum with 117. The only other person that broke the 100 barrier was Sam Lasoni with 113, and the Leeds completion rate was 60%.
You're not gonna win any game with the 60%.
You're not going to beat many sides with a completion rate that low. Right, let's put that game to bed. Let's tuck it in, give it a bottle, and say goodbye. It's now time. Somehow we've got to pick a Lackey Miller Fast Science Player of the Match. Just before we choose our votes, we'd love you to play along at home. If you comment below on this YouTube video with your selection for your Lackey Miller Fast Signs Player of the Match, and let's see if you agree with us. Who wants to go first? Callum Watkins for me. It's an easy one for me.
Sam Lasoni for me. I'll give Chris the deciding vote.
I'm going with Sam Lasoni.
Sam Lasoni, congratulations.
Only because when he came on, he was the only one that looked like we're going to be doing it.
And he did that good run from the only highlight for us from the dropout.
Skilled a few, didn't he?
Skilled a few. Well done, Skipper. You are the Lackey Miller Fast Signs Player of the Match. Matt Frawley has gone on loan to Huddersfield.
Back. Apparently played all right.
Any thoughts on?
Didn't watch the game.
Any thoughts on? Are we going to?
He'll be there for the rest of the season because Clune's out.
Yeah,
he's done.
They pick him up
again.
Are we going to miss Matt Frawley?
No,
no. But interesting what Brad said, that they might miss him being around the club. He's not going to get a game.
He
goes out on loan and we get battered.
I think it's
mind blown.
It was coming, wasn't it?
Yeah, and to be fair to Matt, he's a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's a solid pro, isn't he? He deserves to be playing first team somewhere rather than playing for our reserves. So
it just made sense.
It makes sense. It's better for him, and he'll do a job for Huddersfield because they need a player like that, don't they?
Yeah. Good luck at Huddersfield, Matt. We wish you all the very best. We are also getting ready for Rugby League Shirt Day 2025, which is on Friday, the 11th of July. Bri from Six Again and the guys from the outstanding Only in Rugby League podcast are the brains behind this fantastic day. You can show your support on Friday, the 11th of July, by wearing your favourite Rugby League shirt, sharing your photos on social media. Don't forget to use the hashtag RLSD 2025 to help spread the word. All the proceeds raised from the event are going to go to support the Rugby League Cares Foundation. So if you can, please do donate and help raise funds for this fantastic cause. You can follow Rugby League Shirt Day on all the socials. On X, they are at RL Shirt Day. On TikTok, they are at RL Shirt Day. And on Instagram, they are at Rugby League Shirt Day 2025. You can follow all those accounts for updates. Let's unite, celebrate and support Rugby League and the Rugby League community. It's now time to look ahead to the Rhinos' next fixture, which is the Lee Leopards. Any changes to the side, Duncan? You kind of touched on it during the review. Do you want to see Jenkins return for Gannon out, Ackers in? What's your thoughts for this one?
Personally, I think we need another option at 9.
In comes Andy Ackers.
Jack Sinfield for me.
Oh, here we go.
I'd have 2 hookers, which would be Jared and Jack. I would start Jack. I think we need, when we're chasing a game, I think we need more attacking threat out of 9. There's no question about Jared's defence, about his attitude or anything like that. I think, personally, I like having 2 hookers, and I think Jack would add a lot, and I think we could get game time in Jack playing at 9.
Yeah, I like it.
So I would do that. I would bring Jenkins back, and Bentley would miss out. Jenkins would come in for Bentley, and Sinfield would come in for Gannon. With Watkins going into the second row, Smith at 13, he'd start, and then your bench would be Holroyd, Jenkins, Lasoni, and Jared.
Jared, sorry, yeah.
I think he'll make some changes because I think up to press, Brad sort of said that he's not needed to drop anyone or not needed to let players know that the positions, it's not safe. Yeah. It's not guaranteed, sorry. And I think he might send a bit of a message next week and bring some. I mean, we're in a ridiculous situation which we haven't been in for years, where, like Duncan said, you've got 4 first grade players playing in reserves.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So
just crazy.
We've got a bit of a luxury there. I'd bring either Jack or Andy Ackers back in. It can't be easy for Jared to play 80 minutes neither, with the amount of defence he does. So I think another option there, and bring Jenkins in, and then I'd start Cam. So pretty much what Duncan's saying, but I'm not overly precious whether it's Andy Ackers or Jack.
I think Jack's just been ripping it up for the reserves, hasn't he? Like,
I must admit, I haven't seen much of it.
He seems to be like the standout for the reserves. So I think Brad will go off performance about who's doing.
Has he been playing 9?
He's been in halves, but I think he gives you that cover as well. Because to be fair, on Friday night, if we'd have had Jack on the bench, he could have thrown him on anywhere. Yeah. Could have thrown him on at 9 or in the halves, because neither Croft or, well, you won't take Connor off, but Croft wasn't exactly pulling up any trees. So I think Jack just gives you better balance, and whoever you start out of him and Jared, he may choose to go with Jared because obviously he gives you that defensive. He's solid defensively, can wear them down for 20 minutes, a bit like what we used to do many moons ago, and then you bring on your more attacking 9 after 20 minutes. Like Chris said, if it's Ackers, it's Ackers, but personally I'd just like to see Jack
get some game time.
Yeah.
It should be a cracker anyway, shouldn't it? Friday night, finally, another Friday night.
Friday
game.
Night. Hopefully it's red hot.
And it's that battle for that 3rd spot. We really need to be.
I think I'm
surprised they're that high up, actually, because they've been really hit and miss of Lee. But obviously they've been consistent enough to get up there.
Predictions for this one?
I think we come flying out the traps. I really do.
I think we need to.
I think we'll be aggressive. I would expect a Brad Arthur performance on Friday night, but I do think Lee are decent. They're a decent side. Lachlan Lamb's in good form.
He is quality. I'd love to see him at Leeds.
Pape is a very, very good 9.
Class.
They've got some really good players. it's just, for me, like me and Chris have said, I think that defeat's happened at the right time. And I think not only will Brad be annoyed, but I think the team would be annoyed with what they served up Friday night. So I would expect a massive bounce
Leeds
back.
by
12.
Producer Chris?
Leeds by 18.
And I'm going to say Leeds by 22. We're on an agreement. We're going to beat Lee quite easily. Thanks to Duncan. Thanks to Chris. Thanks everybody for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on iTunes or Spotify. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are listening on Spotify or iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. It just bumps us up those podcast charts more than you'll know. And you can follow us throughout the week on Instagram, the Blue Sky, and TikTok. If you just search the Lot Pod, that is us. And we'll see you all for the Lee Review podcast next week. Take care.